Welcome home to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm AJ Juraska, and I use they, them pronouns. Before we get started, please note that we are not going to do a fire drill today. It will be rescheduled. I know. It will be rescheduled for a day that is not so cold. Thank you for joining us. We who bring a teaching of hope, who bring a saving message, who welcome all in our doors. Buddhists and Christians, humanists and Muslims, straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, cisgender, transgender, non-binary, and intersex, all who are searching, seeking, looking for more meaning, more service, more love, all of us gathered here together. I invite you to put your smartphone on worship mode, which means it won't make any sounds, but you can still post on social media about things you hear today to let the people who can't be with us this morning know a little bit about our experience and maybe even share an invitation to join you here next week. Please rise now, either in body or in spirit, and join us in singing hymn number 17, Every Night and Every Morn.
Good morning, everyone. Our chalice today is being lit by Rosie. This is a congregation bound not by creed, but by covenant. May those in agreement affirm our church covenant now. We affirm a caring community of and for all ages, seeking wisdom, doing service, and loving with him. In our diversity, our covenant holds us in unity as we celebrate our shared spiritual journey. My name is Mark Williams. My pronouns are he, him. And I'd like to welcome any guests we have here today. Thank you for taking a chance to walk through our door and join us for worship. If this is your first time here, please stop by the visitors table in the visitor center so we can meet you and answer any questions you may have. And if you're interested, next Sunday, April 13th, you'll have the opportunity to learn more about Live Oak at our Exploring Membership meeting, which is hosted by Reverend Joanna and the membership team, and is held in the library after Sunday service. The library is that way, if you're curious. And this is a church that's buzzing every single day. The definitive way to keep up with what's happening is our weekly email newsletter, which you can get signed up at the welcome table, and through our website at liveoakuu.org, which is currently having a little bit of issues, but it's going to be back. Let's see, what else do we have? Opportunities, yes. Opportunities shared on the website and in the newsletter. I've picked out two this week that I thought were interesting. One is the men's group. There's a men's group starting on Thursdays. It started and it's starting to build. If you're interested, there is a interest form on the newsletter, and also Tim Buckley over there with his hand raised is one of the organizers and be happy to talk to you about that. And also next Saturday is Peter Rabbit's Pajama Party, right here in the morning, right? I didn't actually check the time, in the morning. And that is for those under the age of 9. Sorry, 16-year-olds, you'll have to miss out this time. Our opening words today come from the many sources of our living tradition. Today, they come from God, as played by Morgan Freeman in Bruce Almighty. You have a divine spark. You have a gift for bringing joy and laughter to the world. I know I created you.
Each Sunday, we gather as a congregation. We bring our joys and sorrows with us into this room. When we ask for remembrance or celebration or prayer or thoughts, we make of this sanctuary a sacred circle. We have a few joys and sorrows today. Let's see. From Tim Buckley, it was a joy being with the church members as we gathered at the Capitol and proclaimed hands off. From Jackie West, a joy and a sorrow. The joy is thank you to everyone who has shown us love for the upcoming baby, everyone who came to the baby sprinkle, and especially Crystal for all her work. A sorrow, yes, a sorrow is Luke's grandfather passed away last night. This is from Doug. Grandson Arden is now 7. From Barbara Coldiron, I had a fun time at Cedar Breaks Park yesterday at the Live Oak Campout. And we know many people are there, probably still. From Crystal, so grateful to those who sprinkled the West yesterday. Baby girl can come any day now. Keep those with physical and mental health and darkness in your thoughts. They need them. And that's it. So, for all those joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, we witness with our care and concern. Please join me now in singing. Make us aware we are a sanctuary. As you are willing and able, for hymn number 1060, as we sing of hope and joy.
I would grab a teal hymnal. It's number 1060 in the teal hymnal.
Good morning. I am Chris Jarman. I'm your Director of Faith Development, and I want to share a story with you today called Wanda's Roses. One day, let's make sure this is working. There we go. One morning in May, on the way home from school, Wanda noticed a bush growing in an empty lot. It was about 2 feet tall, and Wanda was surprised she hadn't noticed it before. But there it was, bare and thorny. And Wanda, who loved beautiful things, let her heart beat faster. A rose bush, she said. My own rose bush. Now, the rose bush didn't really belong to Wanda, but since the empty lot didn't seem to really belong to anyone, Wanda decided she could take care of it. All during school, she thought about that rose bush. She drew pictures of it in art. In the library, she borrowed books about roses. In science, she asked questions about how to grow it. After school, she rushed to the rose bush. It was still there, bare and thorny. Maybe it needs more sun, thought Wanda, so she began dragging the trash away from it. Ms. Turner, who was on her way from school, stopped to help with a broken chair. Cleaning up the neighborhood, Wanda? Oh, no, not cleaning. I'm helping my rose bush to get more sun so it will bloom. Your rose bush? Said Ms. Turner. Where's your rose bush? Over there, Wanda said, pointing to the bare, thorny bush. Oh, Wanda, I'm not so sure that's a rose bush. Oh, sure it is, said Wanda. Well, good luck with that, Wanda, as she walked away. Miss Turner thought to herself, if that's a rose bush, I'm the Queen of England. The next day, Wanda rushed to the rose bush after school. Maybe it needs more air. So she began taking even more of the trash to the curb. Once I get the trash out, there'll be plenty of good, fresh air. Mr. Claudel was on his way home, and he asked, cleaning up the neighborhood, Wanda? Not just cleaning, I'm getting rid of the trash so that my rose bush will have more air. A rose bush? Here? So Wanda showed him the rose bush. Well, I don't know much about gardening, but I don't think that's a rose bush. Sure it is. In a few weeks, this lot will be filled with the sweetest smelling flowers you ever did see. She thanked Mr. Claudel for his help. And as he walked away, he said, if that's a rose bush, well, then I'm the King of France. Every day after school that week and the next, Wanda worked to clean up the lot. Ms. Giamatti, who lived in the neighborhood, the apartment next door, gave Wanda trash bags. You've done a great job cleaning up, Ms. Giamatti said. Oh, I'm not just cleaning. I'm getting rid of all the trash for my rose bush. What rose bush? So Wanda showed her. Oh, Wanda, that's not a rose bush. But Wanda said, yes, it is. But in a few weeks, this lot will be filled with the most beautiful roses you've ever seen. Don't worry, Miss Giamatti. I won't be disappointed. Miss Giamatti sighed. The next week, when the rose bush was still blooming, Wanda went to the library. I need some books about getting roses to bloom, she told Miss Jones, the librarian. Oh, do you have a rose bush, Wanda? Yes, but it doesn't have any flowers yet. I know it has enough sun. I know it has enough fresh air. Does it have water? Asked Miss Jones. Of course. I need water to make it bloom. Thank you, Miss Jones. So that afternoon, she rushed to the rose bush and she looked at the dry ground and smiled. Don't you worry, little bush. I'll get you water. She went to the butcher's shop, that is, across the street. Mr. Sanchez, would you please give me some water for my rose bush? A rose bush? Is that what you're taking care of? Oh, yes, but it can't bloom without fresh water. Mr. Sanchez gave her some water in a plastic bucket. I really do hope it's a rose bush, Wanda. You'll see. In just a few weeks, that whole lot is going to be filled with roses. and it's going to smell heavenly. As Wanda carried the water to her rose bush, Mr. Sanchez muttered, in a few weeks, that thorn bush is still going to be a thorn bush. Every day, Wanda ran to her rose bush, and every day it was bare and it was thorny. Mr. Claudel checked in on the way home from work, Miss Turner on her way to the butcher shop, Miss Giamatti from her window. Miss Jones from the library asked Wanda if there were any roses yet. And every day when Wanda went to the butcher shop for water, Mr. Sanchez would say, "Are there any roses yet?" And to each person, Wanda would just answer the same thing: "Just you wait. Pretty soon the whole lot will be filled with roses." One day in June, Wanda looked at the thorny bush and said, "Well, if my rose bush won't give me roses, I'm going to give my rose bush roses." So, when she saw Miss Turner and Mr. Claudel, Mrs. Giamatti, Miss Jones, and Mr. Sanchez, she gave them an invitation that said, "Please come for tea and muffins in Wanda's Rose Garden, Saturday morning at 9 a.m. "Oh, dear," said Mr. Turner. "Is she still expecting roses?" "Oh, no," said Mr. Claudel. "Oh, my," said Mrs. Giamatti. "Oh, darn," said Mr. Sanchez. "There must be something I can do." "Oh, good," said Miss Jones, who'd only heard about the rose bush and hadn't seen it for herself. "I'll bring the muffins." The night before the party, everyone was busy, and in the morning, everyone was surprised to see Wanda's rose bush covered with roses. Paper roses that Wanda had made herself and carefully tied to each thorny branch. But more surprising yet was everyone who came to the party had brought along a rose bush to plant near Wanda's. Except Miss Jones. She brought the muffins. After they'd eaten the muffins and drank the tea, they all got busy planting the rose bushes. Mr. Claudel and Miss Turner dug the holes. Miss Giamatti held the bushes in place while Wanda and Miss Jones filled in around the roots and the soil. And Mr. Sanchez brought water from his shop. When the work was finished, Mr. Claudel said, "Wanda, this is going to be a rose garden fit for a king." And Miss Turner said, "Or a queen." Wanda and the others smiled, and later that summer, the whole lot, there it is, was full of roses, the most beautiful, sweetest smelling roses that anyone had ever seen, just as Wanda said it would be. The end. I really, really like the way Wanda just keeps trying to figure it out, with help from her community, what the bare and thorny bush needs to thrive and bloom, just like this community that we have here. What do you think are some of the things people need to grow and feel happy? Let's just go. Love. What else do we need? Happy dance. I like that one. Action. Connection. Water. Muffins. All these things we need that we get in community. That's right. All people need care and support just like the gardens do. But sometimes there can be big, unfair things in the world that try to keep people from growing. Things like racism, poverty, unfair rules that tell people you're not important. But we know that that's not true. At our church, we believe that every person is important. We believe that everyone can help each other, not just to survive, but to thrive. Just like Wanda didn't give up on that bush, we don't give up on each other. We come together in support and in love to help our community thrive and bloom. And with that, our story is told.
Our reading today comes from Ursula K. Le Guin. I'm going to read it Lectio Divina style. I'll read it 3 times to help us get a deeper understanding of the reading. This first time, just listen and let the reading wash over you. To find a new world, maybe you have to lose the last one. Maybe you have to be lost. The dance of renewal, the dance that made the world, was always danced here at the edge of things, at the brink, on the foggy coast. This time, as I read the poem, pay attention to any particular word or phrase that stands out to you. Maybe it gives you goosebumps or otherwise pulls at you. To find a new world, maybe you have to have lost one. Maybe you have to be lost. The dance of renewal, the dance that made the world, was always danced here at the edge of things, at the brink, on the foggy coast. Sit with the word or phrase that pulled at you for a moment. This final time, focus on the part that really calls to you and ask yourself what it's trying to tell you, if anything. Is there a question or an invitation in the word or phrase that has caught your attention? To find a new world, maybe you have to have lost one. Maybe you have to be lost. The dance of renewal, the dance that made the world, was always danced here at the edge of things, at the brink, on the foggy coast.
Some of you may remember that I used to do roller derby. And when I was up there on that jam line waiting for the whistle to blow, my body would tell me something is about to happen. My hands and my wrists would get tingly with adrenaline. My breath would start to quicken and my heart rate would increase. It reminds me of how I feel these days when I read about the climate crisis or what's happening in our government. I notice it in my body. I wonder, how are you noticing stress in your bodies these days? Feel free to shout it out. Infection? Yeah. Tiredness? TMJ, what did I hear over here? Confusion, yeah. Anxiety, tears, yeah. Tension in my shoulders, I know I get that one. Insomnia. Irritability. I think a few of us by the laughter know about that for sure. Well, the good news is that this is Resma Menachem, and he has some solutions for us. He's a therapist and a trauma specialist, and he wrote 2 books, My Grandmother's Hands and The Quaking of America. He says that it's important for us to focus on our vagus nerves. Our vagus nerves are the longest nerves in our body, and the largest part of the vagus nerve goes through our gut, which is one reason why we say we have gut feelings about things. It also connects to the brainstem, and it does not connect to our thinking brain. So it's responsible for things like fight, flight, and freeze responses, but it's also responsible for rest. So if we can learn to settle our vagus nerve, it can help us get out of that fight, flight, and freeze response, which is so important to have, but one we don't want to stay in all the time. So there are several ways to settle your vagus nerve, and I actually first learned about Resmaa Menakem's work at an Undoing White Supremacy Austin Unlearning Circle. And what I remember most about it is we were literally buzzing together like bees. And it was silly, but it was also life-giving. And spoiler alert, I'm going to ask you to do it with me in a moment. It's an invitation, not a demand. But there are many ways to settle your vagus nerve, but typically they involve vibrations and movement. So vibrations like buzzing, but also like chanting, singing, humming, and my personal favorite, which is horse lips, which is where you go, as you may remember from a previous sermon I gave. It also can involve movement, so rocking back and forth can really help. It's one reason why kids rock back and forth a lot, or rubbing your belly, or dancing. So let's try one of these right now. Let's all try buzzing on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bzz. Very good. It's like a swarm of bees. And the cool thing is, just like a swarm of bees, we all support each other's nervous system when we do that, even if we're not buzzing ourselves. So I don't know about you, but that tension that I was feeling in my neck and my shoulders is just a little bit better. Now, one thing that an earlier song we listened to, or we sang, talked about is how can we have joy when there's so much suffering in the world? Well, the good news is there are a few people who says it's not only important, it's essential that we find joy. Toy Darracott, who's a poet, says, joy is an act of resistance. This is similar to Tricia Hersey's Rest is Resistance movement that Reverend Joanna talked about several weeks ago. And Leanne Bedesamasake Simpson says, it became clear to me that how we live, how we organize, how we engage in the world, the process not only frames the outcome, it is the transformation. How molds and then gives birth to the present. The how changes us. I notice in our story today, we learned that one person shared hope with a whole lot of other people, and that hope changed people, even people who thought there can't be a rose bush here, and yet they, in the end, were the ones who brought the rose bushes. Another way of saying this is, how we get there determines where we end up, by Cynthia Bourgeault. So how are we going to get there? Well, last week we talked about theologian Douglas John Hall, who says that there are 3 ways to respond to the collapse of society and fear of the future. He says we can despair, we can deny, or we can hope. And it's our choice which way we go. But today I want to suggest that maybe hope and joy is something we should consider. So in a minute, I'm going to play a clip of some students who found some joy despite everything else going on in their life. And it reminds us that there are everyday joys that we can find no matter what. So in this clip, the students were asked, what's something good that happened to you this morning? So let's watch.
I just got an internship offer today, so I'm excited for that.
One good thing that happened to me today is I woke up and I had a really productive morning.
One good thing that happened to me is that it's so nice outside and I get to hang out with my friend Kate.
Today we went on a wellness walk and it was really nice out.
I got to have lunch with my friend Emily and Grace at the dining hall.
I got to get lunch with my friends and I'll get to see them today and hang out.
I was able to talk to my mom on the phone. I woke up on my first alarm.
This morning, a great guy, Jeffrey, said hi to me in the gym. We had a great lift.
Something good that happened to me today is that my dad sent me pictures of my cats.
I just pet a dog. I'm about to go teach Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner and I'm really excited.
I woke up this morning and the weather was actually very nice, so I'm very excited about that.
I'm not sick anymore. I'm a little congested, but I'm not sick. Woohoo.
and I don't have a fever anymore. Okay, bye.
I just got food, which was nice, a little snack, so that was good for today, because I usually don't get one, so yeah.
I got the bus on time today, and I got to class right on time too. All right, bye.
So I'm curious, based on that clip, what's bringing you joy today? And it could be something that happened this morning, or it could be something that's just bringing you joy in general. Yes? Building a relationship with somebody. That's wonderful. Going to lunch with a friend. Your granddaughter's giving you a haircut this afternoon. That's great. What a great joy. Others? Yeah. Your family let you sleep in today. What a gift. Yes. You get to build your brother's Lego sets, and how about your brother? He gets to look at them. What's yours? You have a launch toy that launches circle things. That is very cool. That would bring me joy too. I like things like that. Very cool. Well, something that brought me joy this week was listening to someone who had some pretty amazing quotes, and this is one of them.
Everything I can, I'm willing to go to some lengths. But I am inadequate. You are inadequate. We're senators with all of this power, but in this democracy, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. This is a moral moment that more Americans need to stand up and say enough is enough.
The power of the people is greater than the people in power. Gives me chills, yeah. It's similar to what Clarissa Pinkola Estes says, which is, ours is not the task of fixing the entire world at once. It's not. But of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist in some portion of this poor, suffering world, will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip towards an enduring good. I think about Wanda's roses and the fact that she saw this rose bush that no one else saw, and she created a rose garden with the help of her community. And what a difference that must have made for her community. So what can we do in our own small worlds to change things? So we're going to do something called 15% solutions, and you may have done this with me before, but if you haven't, it's the idea that we're not going to come up with 100% solutions. We're not going to solve poverty in this room. We're not going to end the housing crisis, but we are going to think about some things that are 15% of the way to whatever our goal is. So 15% of the way to more joy in our own lives, or 15% of the way to creating joy in someone else's lives. And this is something you can do without more resources or abilities, just things you already have. And to give you some inspiration, we're going to watch a few videos, and I want you to think before we watch the video about what you might do in these situations. So the first is a scenario in which a pediatric doctor was working with some children who were going into surgery, and they were scared about going into surgery. So what's something you could do to help children feel better about going into surgery? Let's see what he came up with.
The night has come, and the land is dark.
So for those in the back, the kids are dressed in superhero capes so they can go into surgery like superheroes.
No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by.
Pretty cool, huh? So this next one, a boy was having his birthday, and he noticed that people were unhoused, and he wanted to do something for people who are unhoused on his birthday. So what do you think he could do? Let's see. So he not only made food for people, he also made birthday cake and wrote cards. And this is a little hard to see, but these are images of him giving food to people who are unhoused. So he was pretty happy about that, and I believe he brought joy to some others as well. Our final video, a grandfather went to his granddaughter's basketball practice and noticed that some of the students didn't have shoes. So what could you do if you noticed that some of the students didn't have good shoes? They had shoes, but just not good shoes. So this is what he did. And it's a little hard to see with the text, but they're in a shoe store. And he ended up buying 4 pairs of shoes for people on the team who the coach said needed new shoes. So 4 people were going to be able to play basketball that weekend with brand new shoes. Reminds me a little bit of our story from recently about a boy sharing shoes with his friend. So let's think about our own 15% solutions. And at the end of these rows are baskets with pieces of paper. So if you can grab the baskets and send them down the row and to the side aisles as well, and take 1 piece of paper for each person. And there are pens in the chairs in front of you, or you can take a pen from the basket if you don't have one in front of you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to think about our 15% solution. So these are solutions to bring more joy to your own life, because sometimes that's where we need to focus our energy, or to bring joy to someone else's life. So we're going to take a few minutes, and Daria's going to play some music on the piano for us while we think, and then we'll share with a partner. So go ahead and think about your 15% solution for bringing joy to your life or joy to someone else's life. Thank you for that time. So I'm noticing that we're getting a little farther along in the service than I realized. So we're not going to share with a partner, but I hope that you take these home and that you do them at home. And I also hope that you share with someone in the coffee hour afterwards what your 15% solution is going to be, or feel free to share it with me. So Dr. Martin Luther King has a famous quote, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." So let's take our joy and our love and drive out the darkness in the world. May it be so. Amen. Our meditation today comes from chapter 13 of Coming Back to Life by Joanna Macy and Molly Brown. Get comfortable in your seat. Close your eyes or soften your gaze in front of you. Open your awareness to all the beings who share with you this planet time. In this town, in this country, and in other lands. In your mind's eye, behold their multitudes. Now let your awareness open wider yet to encompass all beings who ever lived. Of all species and creeds and walks of life, rich, poor, kings and beggars, saints and sinners. See the vast vistas of these fellow beings stretching into the distance like successive mountain ranges. Now consider that in each of these innumerable lives, some act of merit was performed. No matter how stunted or deprived the life, there was a gesture of generosity, a gift of hope, of love, an act of valor or self-sacrifice. On the battlefield or in the workplace, hospital or home. From these beings and their endless multitudes arose actions of courage, kindness, of teaching and healing. Let yourself see these manifold and immeasurable acts of merit. Now imagine you can sweep together these acts of merit. Sweep them into a pile in front of you. Use your hands, pile them up. Pile them into a heap, viewing it with gladness and gratitude. Now pat them into a ball. It is the great ball of merit. Hold it now and weigh it in your hands. Rejoice in it, knowing that no act of goodness is ever lost. It remains ever and always a present resource, a means for the transformation of life. So now, with jubilation and gratitude, you turn that great ball, turn it over and over into the healing of our world.
We are the tradition of the Free Church. Our church and our community outreach are supported not from an outside source, but from within. We invite you to make a financial contribution to help sustain this church's vital work, knowing that every gift, large and small, is appreciated and carefully used in service of our mission. The QR code or text information for donations is available at the back of the seat pocket. If you'd like to donate by credit card, Apple or Google Pay, someone from stewardship can assist you near the kitchen after the service. Every week, we share what is given with an organization whose work reflects our own UU values. This month, we are giving to Hand to Hold. Kelly from Hand to Hold is here to share a little bit more about what their work is.
Good morning. I love that your church does this. I just think it's beautiful. And I see so many connections in everything that we talked about today with Hand to Hold. I'm a little nervous. I can hear it in my voice, so bear with me. But yes, right? That meditation helped. But 25 years ago, as I was driving in rush hour traffic, I went into labor. And oh my goodness, it's been 25 years. But it was the hardest day of my life. My baby was born. He weighed 1.5 pounds. And at that time, a very small percentage of babies born that early could survive. We spent 4 months in the neonatal ICU. So if you've ever visited someone or you yourself have been in the ICU, it's the ICU for babies, the NICU. I had never been in a NICU. I didn't know they existed, and I didn't know what to expect. It was 6 weeks before I actually got to hold my baby for the first time. There's some pictures of Crystal there, and you talk about the darkest days, but finding joy and finding friendship and making a difference out of something that was the hardest thing you've ever gone through. I founded Hand to Hold, a national nonprofit to provide support to other parents. And in doing so, we were able to support Crystal when she had her baby early and was in the NICU. And I just found out today that one of our other beautiful babies, Amelia, is here, who spent time in the NICU. She's in the window back there. So I just love the connection that people in this congregation have benefited from an organization that I founded to give people hope. Just like little Wanda in that book, I just think that's so incredible in a children's book, but it's the same thing. I wanted to bring joy and support and smiles into the NICU, which can be a very dark and difficult place. And so today, we provide all kinds of free support. We do counseling at no cost for families. Our staff work in every NICU here in Austin now and in Houston at Texas Children's, the largest NICU in the state. Our staff are there at the bedside, and you can see them there. And we're providing daily support. We do support groups. There are virtual support groups. We can connect with you 24/7 and help you find resources during your NICU stay, but also long after you go home. There's some pictures there of some of our NICU grads. We celebrate them every year at a NICU graduation here in Austin at the Q2 Stadium, and they walk the stage, and we celebrate all they've overcome and all they're yet to be, giving hope and inspiration to families who have all different kinds of outcomes. I'm happy to say my baby is now 25 years old, living in LA, making movies and living his best life. And it gives other people hope and inspiration that someday their kids will do the same. Crystal, anything you want to say?
No,
Did I cover it all? I'm sorry for being so emotional. I have yet to talk about it without crying. Good job.
Thank you for sharing, Kelly and Crystal. And that is just one of the organizations we support here at Live Oak. So please give generously. As the ushers come forward to receive the offering, I invite you to say with me these words. We are building beloved community with our labor and with our treasure. With gratitude, we receive the offering. May it help us to fulfill our mission in this world.
May we find joy despite the suffering. May we thrive and help others thrive in our own small ways. And may we remember that our how transforms us and where we end up. Amen and blessed be.
This is your invitation to the Faith Development Hour. It has been a busy weekend, and we have a lot of things going on this afternoon. Our nursery will be open till 12:45. I do want to say that our children's choir has been canceled for today. Gul is not feeling well, and we send her our positive energy for healing. So the kids are going to have free choice, free play with our child care staff. You'll check them in at the nursery. Our youth are in room 209. Adults are with, we're doing What Moves Us, and today is Margaret Fuller. We're talking about the mother of American feminism, and that is in room 105. We have Bring Your Own Breath is meeting in 208. This is a new group that we're trying to get started. We're creating a Zen space where we'll be using sharing spiritual practices with each other. So if you're interested in joining that, that's room 208 with Wayne. We have Breeze training in 106 with Tim. You'll learn a quick and easy introduction to the Breeze church management system, which gives you access to all the cool things. And let's see, the meditation group is from 12:30 to 2 in room 208. And I just want to say, whatever you do, whatever you choose to do, we hope that you will get connected in this warm, welcoming community today. Thank you.
If you're following along at home, we normally have a closing hymn, but for time, we're not going to do that today. But it is called There Is More Love Somewhere, and I encourage you to find it in your hymnal. The words are lovely, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm sad we're missing it, but we want to get out of here on time. Chalice extinguishing. As Rosie extinguishes the chalice, please say these words to each other. We extinguish the flame here, that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again. It has been a gift to be together today. Thank you to today's home team who provided hospitality and worship and tech leadership. Those people are Dan, Larissa, Nancy, Cassandra, Lee, Christina, Mike, and Oliver. Thank you to all of them. If you see them, say thank you to them as you leave. And while we're not having a fire drill, I invite you all to leave gently and with calmness to the hospitality center and find somebody to connect with and enjoy each other today. Be sure to introduce yourself to anybody with first-time visitors. They've got a handwritten badge instead of the other ones. And show them where the visitors table so they can get connected with all the fun things that are happening in this church. Go in peace.